Afternoon all. Hope everyone's well. Um, this is the first time really I'm using this software to make a video properly. It's not going to be fancy. It's going to be raw. Um, Moving over to YouTube is just going to make it easier for me. I'm not using YouTube. I don't really care about trying to make revenue or anything from YouTube. If it does end that way, if it does migrate towards people following me and watching me talk about this, then potentially I will make it a bit more snazzy and whatnot. But for the time being, it's just a way for me to get information across to a select few people that listen to me. Uh, I'll be covering dollar, the usuals, dollar, and the cryptos, Bitcoin, Doge, XRP, and Ethereum. But I'd also be covering gold, silver, and oil. All right, let's kick this off with dollar. So dollar is it's been in a consolidation for some time. I'm long-term bearish dollar, but although short-term I expect a rally. The video I put out on the second, I said that if we push above this or even into this, I did give a level. I can't remember what it was. Then the likelihood is we're probably going to want to trade up here, and above these two equal highs. Where I've got this line, this dashed line, that's monthly relative equal highs. We've made no attempt to go above or below this particular range, so um, I my personal analysis is that it's going to probably trade higher, clear these highs, and then continue lower with my initial target or my target. One of my targets for it moving lower is 89.199. With drive above, gapped higher. We've fallen short of this high, so I would not be at all. It shouldn't leave that high alone, and then we've got this high just here. But I like the idea of it coming and running these out first, and then changing direction. And this short-term bullishness, this short-term bullishness, uh, 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 helps to explain. Oh, help to explain. We'll go with that. We'll help to explain the other stuff because obviously, if the dollar's bullish, everything else should be bearish, and vice versa. Moving over to gold. Wrong gold. Moving over to gold. We've got the um, high made in October, the monthly high made in October. Let me just jump over to the monthly. Yeah, we've got the monthly swing high made in October. We drove above and then traded quite aggressively lower at the end of December. I marked out this candlestick. I said I wanted to, like, from here. I said the likelihood is it's going to want to trade higher. We've fallen short of this and then drove into it. As you can see, we've hit it. If we get a reversal on the lower time frames here, then short term, I I think we will trade lower, at least to these equal lows down here, this consolidation, potentially push even further. But that coincides with the dollar pushing bullish. Um, but that's not me saying that the market has topped. That's just me saying that we'll be in for some bearish price action just for a few weeks. Before it continues bullish. Sorry, I should have left with that. Before it continues bullish, but as it stands, I will be just expecting bullish price action. We punch above this, I'll expect it to keep punching higher, especially after it's ran all of these, especially after it's ran these lows. We've come down, we've filled this gap in, so I'm waiting to see what this does here. Move over to silver. Silver is not in any way, shape, or form even remotely bearish. It's extreme bullishness, and it's going to be bullish until probably about $105 an ounce. We've got these two equal highs as an immediate target. I expect it to push through them. But potentially we could get some bearishness on this if the dollar does start pushing higher. This could be a fake rally, and if it does break out and then change direction, we break below here, then potentially could push a bit lower. But that's me speculating. Let's move over to oil. Right. We've got monthly swing low just there, and a monthly swing low just here. We've drove below that monthly swing low and then broke higher just here. This is the daily time frame, by the way. Created equal highs, retraced, cleared the internal range, cleared internal range liquidity. We've fallen short of these highs. Now that is a strong, for me, that's a strong marker that we're gonna move a fair distance. These equal highs are a first target of mine at 62.92, and then the second target is 66.75, and I don't think it will hang around. Push it if it breaks through there. I don't think it will hang around. I think it will just push through quite aggressively, and then if it wants to get very animated, 70.5 or 70.51 would be the next upside. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I expect these to generally just trade higher. Moving over to, sorry, I'm absolutely shattered. I got an absolute bargain today as well. 3 tyres for the price of 4 tyres for the price of 3. It should have been 260 for 4 tyres. I got them for 180. So it's been a good day. Bitcoin, right? We got that April low around here. I can't remember what it was. It says 79,620 ish was where I didn't want to see go below. It didn't. It avoided it. And then we did this, and I said, right, I'm moving that, and now I don't want to see it below this this low. It didn't. It avoided it. On the H4, we've got a breaker just here. We've moved away from quite nicely. Well, there's a little tiny gap just in here. Let me just zoom in. If I'm moving this around too much, by the way, just tell me, and I will. I'll see what I can do about keeping my hands steady. But there's a gap just in here, fair value gap, which we've only just touched. So if we do break above here, it'd be nice to see if this has got any legs. There are equal highs at 116,400. There's also 116,000. If it closes above there on the monthly, then my target, that initial target, I'll just ignore, and I'll be looking at somewhere as 185,600 as my my third for 185,000, sorry, as my target to reach for this. Where are we? Dropping down. Let's go to Ethereum. Right, Ethereum. We're inside of this range, like literally smack bang in the middle at equilibrium. It's also a monthly gap. If I drop down to the daily, I said I didn't want to see it below here, which it didn't. It avoided. We created a swing low just here, which we've drove below and then broke back above. We've got a little tiny gap just in here. I say a little tiny gap. We've got a fair value gap just in here. If I zoom in, same as Bitcoin. I don't want to see a lot. I don't want to see all of it filled in. If all of it is filled in, it's probably not as strong. But eventually, the all-time high up here will be ran, and then we should start making our way towards 7,000, 6,000 to 7,000, potentially all the way up to 14,000. Although it's just been a very, very sluggish market. Bitcoin, I mentioned this before. Bitcoin ran its all-time high before the halving happened, and whenever there's an economic driver, and price already runs for liquidity before that happens, price goes sloppy during and can take time then before it starts moving. Dropping down to Doge, we've got so let me get rid of that. This right here is a monthly short-term low. We poked below, drove below, created equal lows, and then again we've broke above this short-term high here on the daily aggressively. I would say that the bottom's in for Dogecoin. We should start moving towards, let me just get rid of that. We should start moving towards this consolidation, these relative equal highs at 21,000. Let's just call it 22 cents. If I just zoom in, there's this gap just here between this low and this high, this BC. I'm only really looking. I would prefer it if just this top part was really filled and it left a gap here, because that would give that would show momentum and strength. So I'm waiting to see what this wants to do now. XRP, same again, monthly short-term low. We poked below, drove below, and then broke market structure just here. We're back in the middle of the range. We're in the middle of the range between this low and this high. Wouldn't be at all surprised to see this low here run and then continuation, and that should then continue back towards the all-time high at what was it, $3.66. That's it. That's all I've got for you. This is the first time I've made one of these using this software anyway. Hopefully this makes it easier for not just me but everyone involved, because you can use YouTube then without having to you can use YouTube and have a bar if you use the bell button, at least then you know when I've made a video. You haven't got to wait for me to send you a message. Have a good weekend, and I'll catch up with you sometime in the week.